Welcome back. Arkansas Governor Sarah Huckabee Sanders is introducing a legislative plan to crack down on Chinese influence in her state. She's ordering the state to fully divest from China and ban all CCP-linked companies from critical infrastructure areas. The plan is also banning Chinese-linked companies from buying or leasing property while cutting funding for colleges with Chinese-funded programs. Arkansas was the first state in the nation to force a Chinese-connected company to divest from farmland. This happening as President Trump issues a memorandum limiting China's access to U.S. markets. It orders a block on Chinese investments in sensitive sectors like technology, energy, defense, and it looks into auditing standards as well. This is the America First investment memorandum we've been telling you about now for a couple of weeks. Joining me now is Arkansas Governor Sarah Huckabee Sanders herself. Governor, it's great to have you this morning. Welcome.
Thank you so much for having me. Great to be on. And thank you for covering all the things that are happening both in Arkansas and at a federal level when it comes to this important issue.
Well, thank you so much for that, Governor. Look, you were among the early ones to note what the threat was coming out of China, to note that it was ridiculous for the Communist Party to be buying land in America, and certainly not in your state. It wasn't going to happen on your watch. Assess for us the threat and what you're doing about it.
I don't think there's any question that China is our most formidable adversary, and we finally have a president who is pushing back and holding them accountable. We know that they lie, they cheat, they steal, they pose a threat to our national security and our economy, and they flood our country with terrible fentanyl that has impacted literally every single community across America. We cannot sit back and do nothing. And while we had Joe Biden in the White House, it fell on the backs of states to actually take steps and put preventative measures in place to keep China from continuing to infiltrate. We knew that they were looking to do no good when they got here, so we were the first state in the country to kick China off of our farmland, and we made them pay a fee for violating our state law to the tune of nearly $300,000. We're going to continue to take action. We've introduced new legislation this session that will ban them from purchasing land next to our critical infrastructure, that will ban our cities here in Arkansas from having sister city relationships with Chinese affiliated cities, as well as getting rid of state agencies purchasing items that are made in China. We don't want to continue to prop them up. Those promotional items can be purchased here in the United States. We want to continue to look for ways we can do our part. And I'm glad that we have a president who's going to help lead the way and hold the line, unlike what we've seen over the course of the last 4 years.
Yeah, and, one of the things that President Trump said recently when we're talking about TikTok was, look, we worry about TikTok. What about your washing machine? What about your phone? Anything that was made in China has the potential for surveillance. So you're also attacking technologies and anything that is actually inhibiting freedom in the state of Arkansas. So tell me about that. What's the worry? What are they doing with all this information?
That's the exact question. We know that they are wanting to take the global leadership power away from the United States. And the way I look at it, either China's going to lead or the United States, and I want it to be us. I want America to be the global leader that we have been for decades and not cede that ground to China. We know that they're looking to steal our technology, to flood our markets with cheap duplication. So we have to hold the line. We have to do more. And I'm glad that President Trump is doing that. I'm glad he actually understands it. I'm not sure that the last administration, I don't know if they just didn't care or if they didn't know or they were just too weak to take action against it. But this is a president who isn't going to be weak, who's going to continue to fight back and make sure that we're protecting American interests, both in our economy and our national security. Also, our food security is a big piece of that. Protecting our agriculture. It's not only Arkansas's #1 industry, but if a country can't feed itself, it simply can't survive. We have to make sure we're protecting things like that. Arkansas is going to help lead the way and partner with this president to get the job done.
Yeah, you're exactly right. That is such an important point. Meanwhile, there's DOGE, the Department of Government Efficiency, announcing it has canceled leases for 10 federal agencies based in Arkansas, saving more than $1.3 million, Governor. DOGE pulling the permit for 3 different Social Security Administration offices there. What's the impact?
You know, we're going to continue like we have been working with the federal government, working with this administration. We think that the president is absolutely right to look at programs that either aren't working, aren't effective, or are not efficient. We are $36 trillion in debt. You know that better than anybody. And if we don't start looking at what's working, how we can cut spending, how we can get rid of the waste, fraud, and abuse, that number is only going to get worse. If we want to invest in things that really matter, like this president does, we have to draw the line on some of the craziness that we've seen. We started this here in Arkansas. We called it Arkansas Forward. We like to say we were DOGE before DOGE existed. And just in the last 6 months, we've been able to identify over $300 million in savings for our state, getting rid of things like unused phone lines. We have 15 different state agencies, and by removing phone lines that have no longer been in use, we're saving our state $1 million a year. It's crazy to think that that kind of waste is going on. And if that's happening just in Arkansas, imagine the level that we're going to see on the federal side. And I'm glad that the president and Elon Musk are taking it seriously and getting some real savings and real efficiency in place at the federal government.
You know, we were talking earlier about how with this slimmed down government, more activity is going to the states. I spoke with Governor Glenn Youngkin the other day, and he said, yeah, bring it on. I want to do education in my state. Tell me how you're planning for that, Governor, because you are going to have to take on more as the president cuts down spending and shuts down agencies. We're expecting that with regard to education. You've been out front on girls deserving to feel safe in locker rooms and on the court. You've taken that on in a big way. What else are you expecting to take on as the federal government gets smaller?
I completely agree with Governor Youngkin. I think he is exactly right. Bring it on. We are more than happy to take a bigger role. At the end of the day, we're conservatives who believe that the more local the government, the better. And by allowing states to have more flexibility, I think when it comes to a lot of the federal programs, certainly through education is a great example, we can do a better job of investing and implementing programs and dollars here in our state. We've done that over the course of the last 2 years, bringing transformational education legislation to our state, focusing on things like literacy, parental empowerment. Just yesterday, I announced that we are open for universal school choice for the first time in Arkansas history. And in the first day, we had over 21,000 students sign up and enroll in education freedom accounts. People are hungry for freedom, and we're giving it to them here in Arkansas.
That is awesome, Governor. Okay, so the president will address the joint session of Congress tonight at 9 p.m. Eastern. Yesterday, he wrote on Truth Social that he is going to, quote, tell it like it is. Governor, what are you expecting tonight? It's going to be, as Mike Johnson said, some fireworks.
I sure hope so, and I don't think that we've ever expected anything other than fireworks from President Trump. But that's why he got elected. People love this president because he doesn't hold back. He tells it exactly like he sees it, when he sees it, and he doesn't care who's in the room. It's very refreshing to have somebody in politics that is so transparent and so direct with the American people. I think it was one of the biggest reasons he won in 2016. I think it's one of the biggest reasons he's back in the White House right now. People don't want a scripted robot sitting in the White House. They want somebody who understands what's happening in the country, that we had a absolutely destruction at our border, someone who's going to take big problems seriously and get the job done. And that's exactly what we have in Donald Trump.
Absolutely. And it is certainly authentic. Governor, it's great to see you this morning. Thanks very much. And thank you for your leadership.